You're a baker, Harry. I'm a what? Wizards, witches, and muggles alike. Today I will be showing you how to make these delicious and savory butterbeer cookies, which are inspired by the butterbeer beverage found in Harry Potter films. If you've never had the pleasure of tasting an ice-cold pint of butterbeer from Harry Potter World, it is essentially a creamy, bubbly butterscotch flavored drink, and it is delicious. Now, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest fan of the flavor of regular butterscotch. However, these cookies are one of the best things I've put in my mouth the entire year. So without any more delay, let's start preparing these bad boys. The first thing we need to do is prepare our dry ingredients. For this, we will need to start by getting a large bowl, and to that bowl, you're going to add 2 cups or 250 grams of all-purpose flour, followed by a half teaspoon of baking soda and a half teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of salt. Then give that a thorough mix to combine and set it to the side. Now we need to get started on our wet ingredients. For this, we need to start by grabbing another large bowl, and to it we're going to add 3/4 of a cup or 168 grams of unsalted butter. It should be slightly softened to allow for an easier time when you have to cream it together with your other ingredients, but not melted, not even close to melted. After your butter, add in 3/4 cup or 165 grams of light brown sugar and a 1/4 cup or 50 grams of regular granulated sugar. Now, if you have a stand mixer or electric mixer, use it to cream these wet ingredients together. I don't personally own either of these kitchen tools, so I manually did it by hand with a potato masher, which didn't work that well, and then just a fork, which actually was perfect. It just took a little bit of extra time and a little bit of elbow grease, but we made it. This is kind of where letting your butter soften can help you out a lot. I took it right out of the fridge and went right into trying to cream it together, and it was definitely a little challenging, but this just shows that you're absolutely able to make these without fancy kitchen tools. I found the most effective way to do this was to take a fork and perform downward scraping motions until things were better combined, and then you can just kind of vigorously mix it, and it works just as well as any electric mixer will. After this step was done, we need to add the rest of our wet ingredients, which includes 2 room temperature egg yolks, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons of butter extract, and 1/4 cup or 50 grams of melted butterscotch chips. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea butter extract or butterscotch chips even existed until I made this recipe, but hey, you learn something new every day. Once you've added these ingredients, you'll once again cream this mixture together until it's homogeneous, and then add your dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Mix everything together thoroughly until there's no visible flour left in the bowl. Finally, add 1/2 cup or 100 grams of butterscotch chips to this mixture and then fold them in with a rubber spatula. This recipe does not require any rest time in the fridge for the cookie dough, so we can actually move right on into prepping our baking sheets by laying down a layer of parchment paper on each one. Then, using your hands or a cookie scoop, you can form dough balls that are approximately 2 tablespoons in size. Mine were a bit bigger than this recommended size because I tried to eyeball them, so mine took a little extra time to bake, but just kind of use your approximation here. I would recommend putting 6 evenly spaced cookie dough balls for a standard size baking sheet. Any more than that, and once they kind of flatten out, they're going to just run into each other and you're going to have one giant mess of a cookie sheet. Once your balls are formed and comfortable on their baking sheets, you can place them into a 350-degree Fahrenheit preheated oven for 10 to 12 minutes. My first batch took about 18 minutes because I made the dough balls a bit too large, so if you're going to eyeball them, you're going to have to just keep a close eye on how done they are. And once the edges start to brown and the centers look set, they should be safe to remove from the oven. I personally would allow them to cool for about 10 minutes before removing them from their trays, or you run the risk of them falling apart in your hands, which if you're eating them right away, doesn't really matter. They're going to be delicious warm. But if you're going to save them for later, definitely recommend letting them cool first. Now, as soon as these guys came out of the oven, the whole house smelled like warm butterscotch, and honestly, it was heavenly. But how do they taste? All right, witches, wizards, and muggles. These came out better than I thought. They smell ridiculously good. I'm not like the biggest butterscotch fan, and butterbeer is butter and butterscotch together. So I don't know if I'm gonna love these, but let's just try it out. They look really good. Wow. That's actually crazy. That, if you've ever been to Harry Potter World and you've had butterbeer, that's it in a cookie. And wow, that's really good. I'm actually surprised how much I like that. These will not last long in this household, I can tell you that much. They're gonna be gone pretty quick. Yeah, no, these are something special. You guys gotta make these. I'm gonna save this over here for later, hold on. I did this recipe this way because all the time I find recipes, especially baking recipes, and they're like, you need a stand mixer, you need this, you need that, all this equipment that I don't have and I don't really have the means of buying right now. And that generally discourages me from making a lot of stuff. And this one, same thing, said I needed an electric mixer or a stand mixer. I don't have either of those things. So I'm happy to prove that all you need is a little bit of manpower and some determination, and you can still make something that comes out delicious without the equipment. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. If you decide to make these, please let me know. Leave a comment how you like them. I think this is a perfect recipe for this time of year. They're very, very comforting tasting. But thank you again for watching. I will see you on the next one. Peace!